Our goal is not the victory of might, but the vindication of right. Not peace at the expense of freedom, but both peace and freedom here in this hemisphere, and we hope around the world.
I have a dream.
Well, that's where we start when I go into politics.
Continue to be held as hostages in an attempt to force unacceptable demands on our country.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Is increasing inequality and deep divisions among our own people.
Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack.
Congress has failed to pass federal hate crimes legislation that protects LGBT Americans from senseless violence.
So let us summon a new spirit of patriotism, of responsibility, where each of us resolves to pitch in and work harder and look after not only ourselves but each other.
Broadcasting live from the MSC Radio Network in the city built on steel, rock and roll, and is the fictitious home of Betty White. This is Joust It Out, and I'm your host, G. With me.
Welcome back, G. Welcome back.
Thank you, Judith Pindell and Robin R. Hartz. I had to get your names in there.
We missed you last week.
As much fun as we had without you, we missed you.
I don't know. I actually watched the show the other day.
We knew you were watching.
I love the comment, why the penis is way, the pussies will play.
I think I got that saying wrong.
I kind of like it. I like that saying. Actually, I thought the show was great. It was woman power all the way.
Through and through.
Through and through. You had Nikki Antonio and
amazing
Brent Barton.
Woman. Oh, yeah. Incredible. Incredible.
Now the guys are back.
We had Leah and Elaine in the studio.
Elaine Henderson, yes.
They were awesome people. Awesome people.
Yeah.
We sweet, each and every one of them.
Yes.
You pulled it off. I followed you. I just want everyone to know I followed Judith. This was her show.
Aww.
And clearly you're following Judith in this outfit you got going on, this black and
we
white and
both
red.
Complete accident. I love black and white.
Don't we look good together?
You know what I feel like on, do you remember that? I think it was an electric company or on Sesame Street. Which one of these things
is not like the other?
I feel like I'm the one.
You're out.
This outfit is on
as usual.
I
Get
know.
out.
I'm the odd man out.
It's okay. You're very. What is it? Republican casual. Isn't that what they call it?
Oh.
I have to say, as Romney has been through the South, he's been wearing similar outfits.
He has.
Sport jackets and jeans and giving fake Southern accents.
Oh, and eating the cheesy grits.
Eating cheesy grits. You gotta love that.
Well, you gotta fit in where you get in.
I just got a question real quick, right off the rip.
What's that, Chris?
Okay. Have you seen the picture? Well, actually, not the picture. The flag of Obama. They're talking about in the news.
No. What flag of Obama?
Okay. Well, evidently at the Democratic Party, I guess, general headquarters in Florida, they hung a flag underneath the American flag, but underneath the American flag was a flag with a picture of Obama on it, and it was an American flag. How do you feel about that?
You mean like it was like his face on an American flag?
Instead of the stars being there, his face was there.
It depends on. I'd have to see it.
Well,
I'd have
with
to
Google
see.
being my best friend.
Did you pull it out?
Ask and you shall receive.
Oh, I see. They replaced the star area with Obama's face.
Here's my thing. I mean, I'm just seeing this. My first.
Yeah. What do you?
My first thought is, well, number one, they do have the real American flag flying above.
Above it, right.
And so they're not disrespecting it in that way.
I agree with that. I think in general, if it wasn't with the American flag above it, and it was just on its own,
right, then that would be really,
I think I really even have bigger concern. But I do see where that is not the smart thing to do right now when we're in election year.
And the messed up thing about it was at the Democratic Party's headquarters.
Sell T-shirts or something if somebody wants to do it out of the back of their truck. More power to you.
Yeah.
But that is it gives you kind of a weird feeling.
It's a weird feeling.
But I'm glad that they did have the real American flag flying above it with it. Kind of lessens it a little bit, but it's still, I don't know.
I can see that angering some folks, especially veterans.
It did, because what happened was the vets went over there and told her to take it down, and she had to go look up the code for the laws for the code for the flag. She looked it up online, did a Wikipedia search, I guess, and she said, okay, I'm going to take it down just for the vets.
Okay. Well, at least she took it
did.
down, and so. But yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. It's the dangerous thing
Very
that
borderline.
It's the stuff that you should not do during a campaign year. I mean, you shouldn't do it anyways if it offends people, but it's not good.
It almost seems like during the election process, people are even more sensitive to things
They
like
are.
that. So,
And let's face it, in the election process, it means your opponents are going to take something like that and run with it. It's anything. It's that's why we make fun of the things that Romney says every week. It's why we laugh at the Santorum things. It's why we
and the things that Foster Freeze says and how that impacts the candidates that he supports. So
I saw two of Ron Paul's little, the grass sticky things.
The signs.
The signs on the grass,
Signs.
And I remember that sign, RuPaul for President. I was so tempted. I wanted to take it and just put it on my wall.
You should have. They're not missing,
So today,
they should have been pulled up out of the ground anyway. So you're actually doing the city a favor.
Yeah, that would be the city a favor.
Yeah.
It would have been a lot of fun.
Today is Wednesday, December, March 14th. March 14th, 2012. And, why I wanted to say the date is because we kind of had this gap. You guys really focused on women last week. You touched on some of the current issues. But, of course, since I was away, our Super Tuesday happened, and lots of stuff unfolded here.
Mississippi and Alabama this week.
Yeah, and we have to talk about our friend Dennis Kucinich.
Yeah.
Who lost his seat in the election. Marcy Kaptur did win, and she won by a large margin. Ooh. And we thought that, of course, might happen just based on the numbers of her old district, and that did take place. So I know that Dennis's response became somewhat controversial because he really kind of laid it out and said some things that were negative about Marcy and her campaign. But we now will have a new congresswoman, I believe, depending on what happens with the general election. But this is a highly Democratic area. She's up against Joe the plumber, and what's the shot of that? But so that's what we're looking at, and I think that it's an end of an era. Dennis being so progressive and so out there. I mean, obviously on our show when he was on a couple of weeks ago, speaking about legalizing marijuana. I mean, going down issues that very few.
Most legislators or candidates do not want to touch with a 10-foot pole, and he's right up there pushing the envelope, really pushing even our progressive legislators and friends, pushing them further left, which is.
It really will be interesting to see how that plays out with, and what Dennis ends up doing. I mean, obviously he could be a leader in the progressive movement. He could have a radio show.
Go to Washington.
Go to Washington
State.
Yeah, Washington State. He talked about that, said he wasn't really interested on our show. But
that was before the outcome.
I don't know. He's bit by the bug. Does he leave politics? Does he go down the entertainment world and politics and get his own show or whatnot? I mean, they were talking about it even on the Fox network of that he would be a great commentator. So
they were also saying some other things too, but I won't go into detail.
Why?
Well, they were saying how long is his wife going to stick around?
Oh,
she's not,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I was watching that on Fox.
I know.
Yeah.
I've had some interaction with them on a personal level, and I would say that if you watch them interact and the relationship they have is a pretty loving one. And I know people think they're such an odd couple because of her appearance and her height and her beauty. And Dennis is considered to be an odd looking guy, and but I think when you see them together and how they care for each other.
They're made for each other.
And what people don't realize about her is she kind of gets this, people have this thing about her. She's like this beautiful woman and with Dennis Kucinich, but she's a very smart, beautiful woman. She in her own right had her own career in politics and working in the field for community. And, she's ended up on committees and things through the Obama administration. And part of it is because of her knowledge around things and, and international affairs and other stuff.
Yeah, she's not just arm candy.
No, she's not arm candy, even though people
there's
just think
a lot
that.
of substance.
She is hot though.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, what's her rating?
What do you mean? On a beauty scale?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, is she a 10? Is she a 5?
I think she's hot.
Oh.
So Chris, we got a
hot from
Hey,
she is attractive.
Coming from the straight guy in here, she's hot.
Right, the only straight guy around.
Right.
And I do think she's a beautiful woman. And I think she's a very nice person too. She really is. I mean, she's genuine. She's kind. But anyways, we should move on. We had primary. Yeah, I know we have something to talk about. So the primaries, of course. Santorum has been plugging away. He has, despite the fact of Newt taking away votes from him, he has stuck it out. Last night he had big wins in Alabama and Mississippi, where Mitt, because of his language issues and his disconnect from the voters in those places. Now,
disconnect from voters everywhere. Right. I don't know how many. I mean, I don't have any billionaire friends.
I mean, disconnect from people then everywhere.
Yeah, his latest fumble is a fumble. When he was asked, his connection to football, NFL, I have some friends. They own teams, of course. My friends, just like in NASCAR.
My friends are NASCAR owners.
Owners,
not fans.
The millionaires and billionaires that own the teams.
Is that how he tried to win the South then?
Yeah, exactly.
With his NASCAR connection.
And his football.
And cheesy grits. So
right. And his jeans. His denim jeans.
I think the jeans really make him look like
a tool?
Is a guy of meager means is what I was thinking. But
he needs to quit.
No, he's not quitting.
I'm just saying he needs to quit, though.
Well, here's the thing. I think it is fascinating. Newt is not doing well now. If Newt were to get out, I mean, if you talk about votes and where we're at, I mean, it's really possible that this could go to the convention. It goes to the convention, and there's a battle for those delegates. I mean, and that would just be so exciting. I mean, it really would be.
It would be. It'd be our Super Bowl.
Right. It would. It would. A Political Geek Super Bowl is that, yes.
I'm buying squares.
But, there is a count right now of the delegates, and that is, and Romney has a substantial lead. So he's at 498 delegates right now. Santorum's at 239. Gingrich, interestingly enough, has 139 delegates. Paul has 69 delegates. So if you really put, I know, isn't that funny? It would be better if it was Santorum with the 69 now. It was for a while. But I think if you combine the Gingrich, Paul, and Santorum delegates all together, and there's a pretty fierce battle there with Romney. So if in the next couple of primaries that are going to be taking place, if Newt was to drop out, say Newt and Paul drop out, and say we're supporting Santorum, that would be fascinating. And again, to take it to the convention. And I know I'm keeping my fingers crossed that that's a possibility.
I am too.
Because they could really beat the hell out of each other on the way to that convention.
And they'll do our work for us.
Yeah, they
already are beating each other up. It's just so ridiculous. We just have to sit back and watch them.
I know. And, I know we're going down this road because it is an election year. And, before this year on this show, we definitely were much more balanced in how we treated people.
Okay.
I know. And here's the thing. I'm going to say this tonight is that we are going to get some Republicans on this show. We are going to get some allies. There's some good Republicans. There's some good folks out there, good independents. We need to bring them on the show. And we're not going to beat them up. We've never have.
No.
And
That's not our style.
We beat the ones up we don't know, like Santorum and Romney.
And they're not here. We're not doing it to their face.
But we're going to bring them on the show. We're going to talk to some, and there's some language going on right now that I have with a couple to get on the show. I think they need to feel safe with us and know that we're not going to hijack them and do.
This is Rick Santorum. I heard you talking about me.
Yeah, I don't think Rick will be on, but it's okay. We don't need Rick. And here's the thing. And again, we've talked about this before. Judith and I, in our daily work, we work with Republicans all the time. And some of them are great allies on issues that we all believe in and progressive stuff. It's just that, it's individualized. And I don't want to, always sound like we're down their throat. But, some of them are just assholes. And when the fact is...
when they're Santorum and Romney and Gingrich going at each other...
Right.
On a... it's funny. I enjoy it. I'm enjoying it.
Part of the
I'm not talking about all Republicans or all the people who are voting for them. I'm talking about those individuals.
Right, because we have Republicans in our families, of course, and we don't.
Who doesn't?
Yes, I don't know. Yeah,
I got a few of them.
See,
but they also. You can't blame us for some things. I mean, when you have a spokesperson like Rush Limbaugh, who they've been in bed with for so many years. He is their mouthpiece, and he does and says the things he says, which also all took place in the last couple of weeks.
Right.
And I'm sure you folks, you did talk about last week.
Yes, the sluts here talked all about that.
I did hear that sluts comment. Yes, you did say that. And the fact that Russia's so ignorant and he never backs off of it, and he's willing to just drive it home.
He's so arrogant, but they've allowed him to be.
They have.
You gotta love his commitment.
They allow him to lie about the president's birth state. They allow him to, and they never put him in check.
Just let him keep talking. He'll keep losing his sponsors.
Right. And that's actually a beautiful thing. I mean, when you see a guy like that losing his sponsors, actually Saturday Night Live did a great skit this week, and it was on the line of being ridiculous, but it was really funny because it was the sponsors he was losing, and then his replacement sponsors were ridiculous sponsors. They're just
I'll have to check it
bizarre
out.
products that nobody would have, but they're the whole thing was that he's losing his main sponsors. But I think that if you think about over the last couple weeks, you really are watching this momentum of the real right wing and taking on Romney, not supporting him, and trying to support Santorum, Gingrich, and even Paul. And at this point, if something has to be done, they're really going to have the true conservatives in the party are really going to have to say to everyone, what are we doing here? Are we going to support this guy at the end of the day, and because he's our best shot to beat Obama, being Romney, or are we going to bail on him and go truly to what our purpose is in the right wing, and that's to get a Rick Santorum as president, who then takes up all their favorite issues, abortion, the gays, the guns, and all that stuff. So it's it's an interesting time, to say the least. And in the next couple of weeks, the primaries are not as exciting. I mean, we have
right, yeah, it's all the leftovers.
It's like Puerto Rico and Guam, and I don't know, just bizarre places that we don't really care about so much. I'm only kidding.
I was gonna say our Hispanic friends are gonna call.
We love our Puerto Rican and Guatemalan friends.
I'm not saying.
Why are you talking about Guam?
I mean Guam. I'm sorry.
I'm not talking about the people. I'm talking about like places like Hawaii.
Alaska.
I'm an angry caller.
Did Alaska?
Yeah, they're already done.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
They slipped by. I didn't even notice.
But, another thing that they were saying is that Rick Santorum is emulating Bob Dole's election campaign in the sense of where he was at this point. Bob Dole and Rick Santorum are kind of in the same place before that nomination took place at their convention in that year against Clinton. Right. And that's a fascinating thing because that's going back years ago when there was still a possibility that you go to a convention, fight for your delegates, and make that happen. I mean, that was when we were getting out of that mode, but it still could happen. And of course, now these years later, it seems like such a dream to see a real convention like that,
right?
Right.
I mean, a real process happening.
I mean, I even like it in the Democratic Party. I'm not, I think it's a good part of our democracy to see that take place.
To not take it.
Look at Robin laughing at us.
I'm not laughing. I'm just watching you. I feel like I'm in high school American history class. I really like it. I'm like, I'm looking behind you for the blackboard, trying to take notes. I don't understand what's going on, but it's fun, and you're making motions, so I'm interested, and you're keeping my interest.
Well, I want to switch the subject just a little, Robin, and kind of because, I don't know, black. I segued in my brain. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
Where are you going with
what
this?
I'm going with is
I'm leaving.
I think G is single-handedly trying to start a race riot.
I am race riot. So I was in Tower City.
Okay.
So I was in Tower.
You are trying to start a race riot.
I am.
Listen to this.
So listen, it's spring. Spring has sprung. Everyone's everywhere.
Here, let me say it for you. Pull your pants up.
No, it's
Chris,
not that.
It's that and more.
No, it's not. No.
Let me go here.
It has nothing to do with that.
It doesn't, and I think we're kind of on the edge here. This is a Joust It Out kind of breaking controversial issue.
It is, yeah.
So I'm in Tower City, which if anyone that's not from Cleveland doesn't know what Tower City is, but is our main kind of mall downtown in the hub of the city, and it's been there for many years. Blah blah blah. There's all kinds of stores in there. So I get my coffee. I turn and I look. and I'm going to show our folks a photo.
I'll pull it up. You keep telling the story.
All right. You pull up the photo.
Okay.
And so I turn around, and I see in front of me, in the windows of Brooks Brothers, a cotton field. And on the ground, of course, is a bucket with cotton all in it. And I'm like, wait a second here. And of course, walking by me are many African Americans because that's the population, in Cleveland. And that's a good part of our population. But behind them is this cotton bucket with the cotton fields, and it's in each of the Brooks Brothers windows. And then I go to the window and I read the language. And what the language basically says, them being proud of the cotton industry and their ties to the cotton industry as a product since 1818. Well, folks, as most people know, in our history, that is not such a bright and wonderful part of our American history.
No.
And the cotton industry.
In the cotton fields.
With slaves and what that looked like. And so the fact is...
What I want to know is why didn't they do this last month?
For Black History Month? Oh, no. So here's the thing. I actually talked to some folks that know some things about Brooks Brothers. They actually, a family member works there, and that person formerly worked there. Come to find out, it actually is somewhat of a controversial thing inside of Brooks Brothers corporate.
Stores.
They're saying that the marketing people made this decision to do this. And their first round was, this is the second round of what these windows look like. The first round is, it was a bale of cotton, but it was really right from the cotton fields. And it had bugs in it, and they dropped them off the stores, and some of the stores got bug infestations. So this is the second round.
Okay.
And in that, of course, the employees were like, why are we doing this? This is totally insensitive to the American history and certainly the African American community. How dare we do this? When it comes to, many employees are not liking this campaign, but the young marketing people of Brooks Brothers are not seeing the issue with it. I also shared this photo with some, pretty strong African American people today. So actually, mostly
leaders in our community.
Leaders in our community, and also just Caucasian folk, and said, "What do you think of this photo?" And they said, "Is that cotton?" And then I said to people, "Where do you think it is?" And they said, "Oh, that must be down south." I said, "No, it's in Tower City in Cleveland." And their faces all kind of dropped like, "Oh my God, that's just wrong."
To sell some suits.
Yeah, sell some suits and be totally insensitive. And, I think it wouldn't be as bad if they didn't say their pride in the industry from 1818.
Right. If that were just a display and it didn't have the story, the words over it, then you could think, oh, it's springtime and it's airy and it's,
and even have some
cotton.
White linen flowing,
Yes,
right.
But they slapped the 1818 on there and talking about the cotton industry, and we all know how we got our cotton then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now, as our African American, what do you think? Yes.
You have to speak for all black people right now.
Oh,
Robin.
no.
All the pressure. All right, so here's how I'm going to try and address this. At that time, in 1818 was that? In 1818, that was the norm. It wasn't. It was how we did. It was how we got our cotton, and it was something to be proud of to have an industry like that and build a company from that industry. So, for them to have come and built it this far, I'm going to try to ignore the more sensitive racial part of it and say they're having pride in their company and not saying that they were, really trying to focus on how they got it, but just that they were using it to, make their empire.
I think this is very interesting. So I'm going to say, folks, somebody should call in about this issue.
Yeah. Somebody really should. I put the number out
I would love to hear other people anyone call in about this. It's 888-668-0742. I think this is an issue worth talking about because and maybe we're being oversensitive as progressive, white folk. I don't know. But I just feel like it was shocking to me, and yeah.
I mean, I see it. I'd get a little giggle from it, like, oh, wow, I can't believe they did that. But at the same time, they're trying to sell their cotton suits, their shirts, and things like that. Like, this is what your company was built on. This is where you come from.
You're really empathetic with Brooks Brothers.
I am. I'm not. I guess I'm not as sensitive as I should be to the situation.
No, you don't. We're not telling you how to be sensitive at all. No, if you know,
we don't have any right to tell you to be sensitive.
No.
I don't know if it was. I don't know. I just don't know. We need people to call in.
So the number is in the chat room as
Okay,
well. So
yeah.
all you guys in the chat room, just see if you can call in.
Just talking about some insensitivity is, again, this year. It's, of course, St. Patrick's Day week will be St. Patrick's Day on Saturday this week.
Ooh. Now, last year, someone died downtown, didn't they?
I know. It gets crazy. And it's going to be on a Saturday and nice weather. That's going to be a crazy day in Cleveland.
So, naked, drunken Irish people.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing says let's celebrate our heritage by having a bunch of people who don't understand the history getting drunk.
That's right. And mostly people that aren't even Irish getting drunk and saying they're Irish.
Right.
I won't be drunk, but I will be partaking.
I will be partaking in the festivities.
And I'm not an Irish person at all. So and I even have a button that I just got at the new Cleveland store downtown that says something like, "Kiss me, I'm Ohio Irish," or something like that. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to wear it.
They talked about this on the PX show yesterday. And,
they did?
Yeah, J5 on the show, he is actually Irish. Yeah. And he doesn't like some of the little heritage things that go on here in Cleveland. And he's like, we don't have green beer in Ireland.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Kiss me, I'm Irish. That's nothing,
Right.
I just want to get kissed.
I'm green.
That's all.
You just want to make out.
I just want to drink and get kissed. That's my goal for the day.
Well, and then in New York,
Yeah.
You might want to check out their website, the Queer Irish.
That's what I was. That's where I was going about the insensitivity. I'm just saying that for years, Boston, New York, other major cities, the LGBT folks that are Irish have been excluded from parades, and it's
year after year.
It's been dramatic. I actually now in Boston they are allowed, but New York is still a no-no. So you cannot show your gay pride and Irish pride at the same time.
Right.
There are no gay Irish.
Right.
I don't know any.
But the queer Irish, you look them up. They will be having a protest.
Yes.
At their St. Patrick's Day parade in New York. So
just Google
check them out.
It'll
check them out. Support them.
Now, what are they protesting?
The fact that they will not allowed to be in the parade. They are of Irish descent. They want to show their pride. They are queer Irish. It's a group that they have. It's a gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender group. And year in, year out, they are denied access to participate in the Irish parade.
Okay, I understand.
In the St. Patrick's Day parade.
Right.
And there's a lot of contention between the police officers and the churches and the and the biggest bigotry that happens around all of this. It's very political. And you look at some of the rights of our queer Irish friends.
One of the things that happened years ago, back in the really during the late '80s and part of the AIDS movement, is when the Irish, the Boston parade did not allow gay people to march in the parade. It kind of also pushed the ACT UP AIDS folks to go after the Irish and to go after a major Irish landmark, a church. And it actually was part of the blood being thrown on the cathedral in Boston. And it's an interesting history that kind of is evolved of the things being tied together and what has happened around that issue. And then, of course, some places don't care. They let everyone be proud of being Irish in whatever way they are. So we will be finding our own way. I hope, Robin, you'll...
Oh, I'll be working that day. I'll be down there making sure that I test out each beer, make sure it's up to quality.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, making sure the whiskey is the way it's supposed to be, nice and fresh.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're going to be doing the work of...
Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it. It's a hard job.
It's the work of angels. Oh, yeah. It really is.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Robin.
Bless my heart.
All right, so when we come back, I still am not over this issue. We need somebody to call us about this.
Okay.
888-668-0742.
Tell us what you think about cotton.
Cotton in the windows of Brooks Brothers. I'm sorry. I still don't get it. I do get it, but I don't get it. So please give us a call, and don't forget to friend us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and
join us in the chat room.
Shout out to Jennifer Swampwich is in there.
Jennifer Swampwich is in there. Our intern is in there. He's under the weather, so hey, Stanley.
Hey, Stanley. We miss you, Stanley. And Jen, we'll be talking to you a little later on in the show. So we'll be back.
the show toll-free. 1-888-668-0742. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network on morningshowcentral.com.
MSC Radio Network weather is brought to you by NeoWeather and NeoWeather.com, Ohio's home for weather. All right, wow, how about the weather today? I hope you got to enjoy at least part of the day as temperatures made it into the lower 70s. We'll keep the temperatures for the next several days, but we'll have to deal with a few showers and thunderstorms at times. For tonight, skies will be mostly clear and temperatures will stay rather warm in the lower 50s. For your Thursday, we'll have increasing clouds with some scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Right now, we're not expecting any severe storms, but a few could be strong. Be sure to stay tuned for the latest. Highs will make it to around 74. Be sure to check out neoweather.com and like us on Facebook for the latest weather updates. From the MSC Radio Network, I'm Mark Spencer.
Hey, Unsigned Bands.
You are jam-packed.
Hey, Unsigned Bands. Want your music heard? Yeah! Shoot us an email with the name of the band and the MP3 of the song. Send it to show@morningshowcentral.com. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network on morningshowcentral.com. If you live the lifestyle, then you should arrive in style. Lifestyle Limousine Service. Whether it's dinner for two, an evening at the winery, or a night out on the town, Lifestyle Limousine provides extraordinary service. Check them out on the web, lifestylelimousineservice.com. Reserve your ride now. 330-903-0508. 330-903-0508. Lifestyle Limousine Service. And make sure you tell them Morning Show Central Radio Network sent you. Cocaine Energy Supplement. Due to great consumer demand, Redux Beverages has officially announced the return of its world-famous Cocaine Energy Supplement. It's now available at retail locations across the country, as well as online at reduxdirect.com. That's reduxdirect.com. Don't forget to be part of the all-new Cocaine Energy Supplement social network, where you can meet other Cocaine Energy Supplement fans from around the world. Cocaine Energy Supplement. You can become a member. You can become a member by logging on to lovecocaine.com. Having problems with your home computer or business PC? Looking to have some upgrade work completed on your computer? Have a special project in mind that may be too much for you to undertake alone? Time to call Joe the Printer Guy! Joe the Printer Guy offers a full-service hardware and software repair center at his facility to handle your PC, server, and networking needs. Let their professional service staff handle your computer needs. They offer expert service at an affordable price. Visit Joe the Printer Guy at 14035 Madison Avenue, Lakewood, Ohio. Online, joetheprinterguy.com, or give him a call at 216-651-3880. Joe the Printer Guy. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Jumping from one web host to another can be frustrating. Finding a good web host can be unnerving for even the most experienced of web designers. That's why Uncensored Net Noise has chosen P99 Technologies as its web hosting supplier. Established in 1999, P99 Technologies has evolved into a first-class web hosting provider. Its 99.9% uptime rivals many in the industry. That's why they offer their 30-day guarantee, no questions asked. For more information, go to P99.com. P99 Technologies will help you get started with your web presence with honest and expert customer service. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right.
Rise above the clutter, brand your identity, and make a statement. Broken Fan Media. Expert video production, television and web commercials, music video, real estate tours, live concerts and events, state-of-the-art post-production, video and audio editing. Check us out on the web at brokenfanmedia.com. 434-944-0472. Broken Fan Media. The next generation of sight and sound.
If you're looking for the best in musical equipment, recording gear, sound reinforcement, and more, Guitar Center has you covered. Guitar Center, located at 26635 Brook Park Road in North Olmsted, has the tools of your trade with the largest selection of music and sound gear in the area. They cater to your musical needs and have the knowledge to help you out. Guitar Center in North Olmsted. MorningshowCentral.com uses them. You should too. Need to know more? Go to GuitarCenter.com.
You're listening to MSC Radio Network and
And like anything else on the internet, it runs on computers. Lots of computers. And you know, when you're dealing with computers, hard drives sometimes crash. That happened here at MSC. And you know what saved them? Rectiphy backup software. Don't believe us? Well, ask yourself this question. Are you backed up? Probably not. So don't be that guy and wait till it's too late. MSC did their research and tried tons of different backup programs and chose Rectiphy backup software. You know, peace of mind is priceless, and Rectiphy can give you and your computer system that peace of mind. Find out more at rectiphy.com. That's RECTIPHY.com.
Hey, it's Big Daddy from The Marty Allen Show. Catch the replay of The Marty Allen Show every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern right here on MSC. Now, my show airs Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 3 p.m. and Saturdays at 2 at MartyAllenShow.com. But you can catch the best of The Marty Allen Show every Thursday at 7 p.m. right here on Morning Show Central. So if you want all the latest sports news, entertainment news, and everything else that's going on in the world, then tune into my show live at MartyAllenShow.com and the best of the replays right here at MorningsHowCentral.com. Get MSC and get cooking, baby.
Looking for reliable and affordable Shoutcast audio or video hosting? JWN Media offers complete Shoutcast hosting solutions for business or personal use. All plans come with full listener stats, custom web scripts for implementing your service into your existing website, full server control, super fast network, and huge bandwidth limits, a 99.5% uptime guarantee, and friendly, knowledgeable support personnel dedicated to making your hosting experience fun and easy. With plans starting at only $3 a month, you have no excuse not to get a server of your own. Plus, with the option to add auto DJ and on-demand services, you can be confident your station will be all it can be. Custom plans are also available at their website. Simply visit jwnmedia.com and click the Shoutcast hosting link to get started right now.
Oh my! What's that?
We're coming, Little Rock. Are you ready?
Hide the wife and lock the doors. Cocaine Energy is coming.
Redux Beverages has officially announced the launch of Cocaine Energy in Little Rock, Arkansas. Look for it at your local retailer. And if they don't carry it, tell them they need to stock it. Also available online at drinkcocaine.com. Call the show toll free. 1-888-668-0742. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network on morningshowcentral.com. Oh, great. Not another Farm Bill request. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/morningshowcentral. Denying one Farm Bill request at a time.
We're back. This is Joust It Out. I'm your host, G, with Judith Pindell and Robin R. Hearts. Robin R. Hearts.
Doesn't that just flow? It's
It
really
does.
cute.
I love it. And now we're going gay.
Full on.
Full on gay.
Full frontal.
Frontal gayness.
Can't wait.
Yo, I just can't wait either. I need to do it, right? No.
Yeah.
So last week, Robin actually did her LGBTQ Soup clip, which we are going to get to in a second, and we'll be playing that. You can go to joustout.com, go to the LGBTQ part of the Soup site, or page, I should say, and you can see it there every week when she posts them. We'll be putting them up, and they'll link to her. And it's very exciting. So I can't wait to get to it in a minute. But lots of gay news going on, too. So we have, boy, here in Ohio, marriage equality. And I want to talk about this issue is that, our community, the LGBTQ community, needs to strategize.
What's that?
This is an election year, people. This is Ohio. This is a state that has DOMA. And I know this is not going to be a favorable thing, and this might piss off some gays, but I got to say it. Gay marriage is not 2012's issue. Equality Ohio should not really go down this road. It should not support this road. And why? Is because DOMA has been in place since 2004. It requires to go back and change the Constitution. It costs a ton of money that no LGBTQ organizations have in this state.
And if they did, I can go down many, many priorities that those resources and effort and energy need to go to.
That's right. And when you have a state that you do not have equality in place around employment, around housing, and you can be fired from your job today for being gay, you can be kicked out of your house, denied a mortgage for being part of the LGBTQ community. Those are the things we need to change in this state far before marriage. And I say this as a gay married guy. And I would love that Ohio would honor and recognize my marriage, but that's not the case right now. So the fact is, we have to look at our resources as a community. Plus, this is an election year. We have allies who are up for re-election who we need in office to pull this off in the future. And if you create this issue, they could lose their seats because we know this is red meat for the right, and you don't want to give it to them. We just can't do it. We can't do this to the election of the president. We can't do it for our local elected officials. We need to support them in their process. We need them to play moderate right now, and don't be offended that they're not jumping on our LGBT bandwagon. They're not right now. They can't. They can be allies and friends, but to ask them to go down a road of marriage, it's just way too much.
I think I do want
my commentary.
Thank you, and I do. I agree. I do want to mention that at least what I've seen is that I would say the majority feel the same way that you do. They wish that DOMA wasn't in place, that was something realistically that we could go towards. You know, and that's there, but they also realize and recognize that there are so many other things that we need to be working on. I would say, at least in my experience in my circles, that they do recognize that. So there is a whole other contingent that really is pushing really hard for this.
And in saying that, we're not taking away support from the group that is going to have a rally here in Cleveland. We are supporting that
March
rally
24.
because what they did was, it was marriage equality when they first started. They've now included the other issues, which if for our community to come together for a rally here in the city, just because of what's happened. We know about the young gay couple that was beat down by the Cleveland police for being gay and called faggots, and they don't deserve to wear pants. I mean, we should get together and do something, but outside of that, to think that we can spend those resources to take on marriage in Ohio this year,
and in
it's
saying
not the
that,
time and place.
you know, let's not pretend like it won't be dangerous. You know, people have to come out. They have to expose themselves to what's going on, the hatred and things like that. But it is completely worth the sacrifice to do, and it's not at all easy. Not in any way is it going to be a small sacrifice, but it is something that's completely necessary if we want to see any type of progress at all.
You know, people have to think about this. In this election year, President Obama might not be running, you know, the rainbow flag out of the White House and doing this stuff, but amazing things are happening behind the scenes. This past week, when I was away, the law was put in place, finally the rule around LGBTQ people and non-discrimination and HUD and housing. Those are things that affect everyone's lives. They really impact people's lives. Those are things that you can't, we don't, as a community, have the dollars to change that without the government support. So we need those laws and rules changed, and especially for people who are homeless. And how many people in the LGBTQ community do not have the resources to be housed, to have their own place,
or don't have the resources to book a florist and a wedding hall,
right? And don't want to.
Yeah, exactly.
They just want to go to.
They want to have security in their workplace. They want to have security and protections in their homes. They want to have security and protection in their schools. You know, so that they can stay in school, so they don't become homeless, so they don't drop out. You know, so I really do think that there's so many other things, at least at this point in time. We're talking about an election year. We're talking about minimal resources and what strategically makes sense.
And we are going to have Mark Szabo on next week, who is the local organizer of that rally. And we support them, but we had to say this. Judith and I attended the Equality Ohio
Leadership Summit
a week ago, and you know, some issues came up out of that, and I think that, you know, there was a great speaker there, a wonderful law professor, Mark Spindelman, who really said it brilliantly in so many ways, just talking about the people who are underserved, who are not being cared for in our LGBT community.
The politics of dispossessed. He talks about. We really need to get him on the show. I'm very excited to have him. And but he's a super intelligent person. Was able to really put all of this in perspective in this.
He's a law professor.
Right. Yeah, I have a policy crush on him.
I do.
But yeah, so I mean, it would be great to have him on the show to really break it down how he was able to, in that large, there were over 100 people in that room from in various stages of where they want to support gay marriage in Ohio and what they're willing to move forward in that campaign or in that effort. And then a lot of other folks who recognize that maybe this isn't the time and the place at this point. So, but he was able to pull everyone together.
Yeah, and I know this is a little serious for us, but I want to play Robin's LGBTQ Soup, and we'll come back from that in a second. Let's. I thought this was great, Robin, actually.
Hello and welcome to LGBTQ Soup. Today I have just a couple of things to talk to you about that might be of interest. So, first up tonight, President Barack Obama, apparently at 8 years old, had a nanny who has just been revealed to be a transgender prostitute from way back in her time. Now, this woman from Indonesia has been having a very, very hard time with her life. And you know what? I don't even know why they brought this up. Is she a part of the process this time? Is she gonna be a part of his candidacy this year? Is she gonna come into the White House and take care of Barack Obama's 2 little daughters? Hello? Newsflash, take the call. It does not matter. Next issue. Bad news for potential college students this year. Some colleges are now requiring your Facebook password within their application. In Maryland, some job seekers are even having to provide their username and password to be considered during the interview process. Now, while this request is strictly voluntary, most candidates are going ahead and giving that information just because they want to get a leg up in the interview. Now, I ask you, does that sound fair, especially to those of us who like to rant about our ex-boyfriends, curse out our bosses, that kind of thing, in the privacy of our own network? Now, most of our profiles are very, very private, giving information to those only on our friends list. But these people, they want all that information now. No secrets will be kept. How do you really feel about that? Comment in the chat box and let us know right now. And now for the event section of the LGBTQ Soup. For all of those people living here in Ohio with us, we want to go ahead and remind you about the protest for marriage equality held on March 24th, 2012. We will be meeting at Public Square at 11 a.m. to make sure that we can go ahead and march for marriage equality. Now, whether you be gay, straight, or have yet to make up your mind, we need everyone to come out and make sure that we support each other, because equal rights affects everyone and not just those fighting for it. And if you're looking for a little party and cocktail afterwards, Deja Vu Nightclub will be having the big gay wedding reception held promptly at 6 p.m. all the way until 2:30 a.m. So that should be fun as well. Don't forget our Akron AIDS Collaborative fundraiser, which is going to be on March 29, 2012 at Interbelt Nightclub. And that's going to make sure that it benefits the Akron AIDS Collaborative and the Akron Brothers Circle as well. So I want to make sure that everyone comes out and sees a fabulous show that yours truly will be performing in and hopefully doing her very best to entertain you. That will be wonderful, wonderful, wonderful for all of you to come in and see all of us and give just a little bit of whatever you have in a little envelope marked devotion. Bad news for all those logo fans out there. Apparently, because of the lack of dollars given by advertisers, the network will no longer be showing some of your favorite gay programming. Now, RuPaul's Drag Race will remain on the network, but for the rest of the shows, they will be dumped. It will be a gay-free network. If I were you, I'd get on the phone and start writing letters so that we can keep our wonderful gay logo network, because what are we going to do now? I guess we're left with love, time, and oxygen, but let's face it, that's really for the women now, isn't it? That's all for our soup tonight, and I'll catch you next week to see what's going on in our worldwide gay community. Mwah.
Wow, I love it. See,
thank you, Robin.
Oh, well, you're
Great
welcome.
job.
You're welcome.
So, folks, you can go and check that out every week. We'll be posting these, and last week we weren't able to. This one will post on the website, and I need actually some technical help with Chris. There is a link up there right now on our link page, and also the LGBTQ Soup page, but we got to actually get the video on there in a normal way, and we will do that by next week. So you can go there and check those out. If you even miss our show, you can check them up there.
Now, quick correction. I believe that the rally is going to meet at the Free Stamp.
Yes, it is a Free Stamp, yeah.
Okay, so that's March 24th.
We'll forgive you, Robin, for that, yes.
No problem.
Well, so going back to, if we can, in these few minutes, I kind of wanted to bring it back to, the gay marriage and the issues we were talking about. So just for example, Springfield, Ohio, that may or may not be the hometown of the Simpson family, their commissioners recently voted down an ordinance that would have enumerated sexual orientation, gender identity within their civil rights ordinance. So right here, these are the issues that we're facing right today. So, if we can't get a town in Ohio to recognize that everyone should have the same rights, the same protection.
It's a fascinating piece, too, because the way their political structure is that they have a city council of 5, and they have a mayor and an assistant mayor. And the mayor was in support of the new ordinance.
Supported the ordinance.
And the assistant mayor, the woman, actually opposed it. And that's how it actually did not pass.
It came down 2 supporting. One was the mayor, and 3 opposing. One was the assistant mayor.
Yeah, how does the assistant mayor bump the mayor? Why isn't the mayor? It's a very interesting structure. We need to look into how Springfield does its politics.
I didn't know there was anything called a assistant mayor.
Well,
I knew there was a mayor's assistant.
I guess you can do anything.
Assistant to the mayor,
right? Not an assistant mayor. Yeah, it's
vice mayor.
But what we kind of think it is it's almost like a higher level in the commission that it's almost like what the council is, and maybe it's almost like the vice president, the way he sits over the Senate. It's almost like that kind of thing, you know?
Okay.
I don't know. It's weird. I don't know.
I need a chart or a graph. Flow chart.
Yes.
But anyway, so that's what's going on in Springfield, Ohio. They certainly don't want to see people getting married. They don't even want to give us the rights that everybody else in Springfield, Ohio has. So
going a little to New England, I think I talked about this last year. Civil rights, civil marriage was passed. Now, here's going back to this is that, think about this. Rhode Island passed its non-discriminatory law for LGBTQ people in 1995. So from 1995 to finally 2011 to finally get civil unions. It's a long haul, but they at least got equality in place in 1995. Right. So you can't just it takes time.
Are you saying that there's a strategy behind this?
There's a strategy. Like you build momentum, you change hearts and minds over time, but you can't do it when you have a DOMA law blocking you, that's for sure. But I just want to say that of course, people were very upset. Rhode Island is sitting next to Massachusetts, Connecticut. Everyone wanted full marriage. We could have actually had civil unions in Rhode Island years ago. People always said they would give that to us.
That wasn't what you wanted.
We wanted full marriage equality. The battle went on and on and on. And of all things, the openly gay Speaker of the House sold out the LGBT community last year at last minute. And because him and his partner, by the way, and here's the haves and have-not story, is because him and his partner had a legal marriage that they were able to afford to have in a big mansion and do their thing. And
hire the florist.
Hire the florist, hire the lawyers that it takes to make all that work. And because Rhode Island recognized Massachusetts marriage licenses, they were like, well, that's fine. Civil unions are good for the rest of the Rhode Islanders. The fact is that sellout happened, civil unions were put in place, and the independent former Republican governor of the state even said, is this what you're giving me on my desk? I was willing to sign full marriage equality. So as of last week, it is going back to the legislature, and a couple heroes there are taking it on again to get full marriage equality. But these battles, again, take years of fighting, and and it's just not where Ohio is at right now. Right. Don't look so sad.
We're gonna get
I have one little itty bitty thing that might perk you up. Are you an ice cream lover?
Of course.
Because Ben & Jerry's just introduced
what they introduced?
Happily Ever After in support of gay marriage.
Oh, that's great.
So there's a full story. Do you mind if I say that? Okay. The website is unicornbooty.com.
Yeah.
Go there, and they have it all written down. Again, the name of the ice cream is Happily Ever After.
So are they going to have that in every store that normally sells Ben & Jerry? Because I know there have been cases where Ben & Jerry's ice cream has been pulled off the shelves because of controversial flavors.
Yeah. They've done that in the past. Yeah, that has happened.
We'll have to take a little survey.
It probably won't fly so well in Cincinnati or in Springfield.
Springfield, probably not. Ohio, in general,
Kentucky,
with our Domar, would they even be able to ship that in?
So
our
this is in the
borders?
UK. This
Alabama.
is in the UK, the United Kingdom.
Oh, see.
But they're starting a campaign to bring it over here.
All right.
So there's hope.
I don't want to, it's we got to get Jennifer on the line, but I just want to say, and Jennifer being from down south will appreciate this. I was listening to some just interviews that were happening in Alabama and Mississippi about the president and where he was birthed and his religion. And I saw a poll that said, I think it was Alabama, 60-something% of the population believes that President Obama is a Muslim. And that he was not born in the United States, Right. It really is depressing.
Rush told them.
Rush and
hey y'all.
Hello.
Hey Jen.
Hey Jen.
Swamp Witch.
Oh Jen, you're gonna have to lower your computer.
Oh, okay. How is it now?
Much better.
Yes.
How are you?
Is it better? Well, I'm good. My 95-year-old uncle passed away.
Oh, we're sorry to hear that.
And I was gone. But I did find a blog about the cotton, and I was going to call in about it, but this was from someone from North Carolina who saw it. They were visiting with their mother, and they saw the cotton display, and they thought it was very racist, and their mother just said, oh, they're just selling cotton shirts, and the younger person wrote, are you serious? On the surface, maybe, but what they're actually selling is a lifestyle shop here that you can sit on the porch of your antebellum plantation home, leisurely sipping on a mint julep. And, cotton is such a strong symbol. So I'm real sensitive about it, and I see it as they should have mentioned something. I don't know if they were going to use cotton, mention something about the abolishment of slavery, and I see it as a little bit racist.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, and maybe maybe this is generational too. But then you're telling me that the mother was actually the opposite. The mother was not affected by it, but
right. And the person who went, I think they went to Duke. I'm going to try to contact the blogger, and I'm going to send you the link about this blog. It was all I found. I Googled it. They said, maybe that's what education does for you.
Yeah.
But see, me being from the South, I know how it was. Of course, I'm 51, and things my mother's told me, and you can't help but relate that.
Well, Jen, I know that just because of our time, I'd change the subject just a little. Well, I guess a lot, but not really, because it's down south and Santorum. Obviously you know what's happened with him in Alabama and Mississippi. Any cards on him recently? You don't have to pull them now, but did you pull on?
Well, I do
recently?
have the Deviant Moon Tarot, which is I feel perfect for him, and they're really. Bill Maher had a little video, which I'll send to you. They interviewed people in Mississippi and Alabama, and it was so scary. They were talking how they hated Obama. They wanted guns. It was pitiful, the very poorest people. But I'm going to do a card for our friend, Mr. Santorum.
Okay.
And it is the initiate, which is like the fool. In other words, he's beginning to learn. He's really approaching this. Let's face it, he's not been in a presidential race before. He's the new kid on the block. He's full of hope. I think he really is entering this wide-eyed, and he really feels he can take it.
Yeah.
But he also has much to learn.
Yeah, we know that. Jen, we're going to kind of change up a little here, and because we're getting so sad. But, Chris, we have one last thing to play. Do we have a minute to do that? Or no? Are we tied into our other show? Are they here? Oh, wow. Well, folks, I didn't realize that the other show was on tonight, but there is a new show after us that is coming up, and they need their space, and it's 8 o'clock, so we're sorry that we didn't get to finish our last piece.
Jousted out.
We gotta this is a new thing. I got back, and now we have someone after us, so I have to adjust to it next week. I promise we'll get it all in our hour.
Thank you, Jennifer, for joining us. We always love having you.
I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, we love you, Jennifer. We'll talk to you soon.
I love y'all.
All right, we'll be back next week.
Good night.